はい、皆さん、レッスン6で we learn a couple of what we call compound verbs and how to explain reasons. So, 一緒に勉強しましょう. Now, we have te forms, which you've just learned, and as you heard, te forms are used to connect two verbs together. But sometimes these two verbs are connected together so often, we use any two verbs together so frequently that they essentially act almost like one word. They become just sort of a combined unit. Now, you've probably actually seen this before if you remember all the way back to chapter 1 when we were teaching you how to say hello and goodbye. So, this student, he's leaving for the day, and as he leaves the house, he tells his mom, do any of you remember what this was? Like, bye bye. We say, ittekimasu. Ittekimasu is how they say, I'm leaving now. What this actually is the verb iku, to go, in te form, and then come, kimasu, ittekimasu, as in, I'm going now, but I'm coming back. So I'm going and I'll be back. Ittekimasu. Now, this is just become essentially like one word. People don't really think about it as, okay, itte and then kimasu. It becomes kind of one thing. And there's a couple of verbs that work that way in Japanese. So this is one of them that we learn in lesson 6. Motte kuru. Motte kuru. Motsu is to pick up something or to grab onto something, and then kuru, to come here. Therefore, motte kuru or motte kimasu is to bring something here. So, like this person is bringing juice to Mary. So we can say motte, and then motte itself doesn't change. Motte doesn't conjugate. So it becomes just kind of like a part of the verb kimasu, or like a modification to the word kimasu. So we have motte kimasu in present tense, motte kimashita, I brought, motte kimasen deshita, I didn't bring, or even the command, motte kite kudasai, bring it here please, motte kite kudasai. And we can use this actually with other verbs besides kuru as well. So we can say motte iku or motte ikimasu to mean pick this up and take it somewhere. Like, can you put the juice over there, for example? Then it would be motte itte kudasai. Or even motte kaeru, motte kaerimasu, as in to pick up and come home with that. So to take something home or get takeout. So we would say that for like whatever, fast food or something. Motte kaerimasu. Right? Hamburger o motte kaerimasu. Now, the other verb that we learn is tsurete kuru. Tsurete kuru. Tsureru, the verb, is to join up with or to link or to accompany. And so tsurete kimasu means to bring a person, like this. So notice this is not motte kuru because I'm not actually physically picking her up. Like I'm not like as if she were whatever, a princess or like the bride in a wedding or something, and I'm holding her in both hands. That would be motte kuru, but that's not normal. With people, you don't normally physically pick them up and then move them to a location. Instead, you just accompany them somewhere. So we say tsurete kimasu. Or tsurete ikimasu. Tsurete ikimasu is also fine. So tsurete itte kudasai. Please take this person somewhere. And even tsurete kaeru. So this is one of the more famous lines from a Japanese show that many of you probably know. The mutual friend of these two people has gone missing, and Naruto says, so the mutual friend is named Sasuke, and he says, Sasuke, I will, I will, tsurete kaeru. I will bring him home. I will get him back home to us. And then it's issho no yakusoku. So like it's my promise. Uh, so those are different ways that we can take tsurete. And of course with tsurete kaeru or tsurete kuru, tsurete iku, the tsurete part of it doesn't change. What conjugates is the verb that it's combined with. So tsurete kuru becomes tsurete kimasu, tsurete kimashita, tsurete kimasen, and whatever. Hai. Now, one thing to be careful for when we have these sort of compound verbs is the difference between kuru iku and English come and go. In Japanese, kuru always means to here or to my place. So for example, I could say Canada ni kite kudasai because I'm Canadian. And so even if I'm not physically in Canada, I mean, oh yeah, please come to Canada. It's like because Canada is my place. That's where I belong. But so it's more metaphorically where my heart is. But for the most part, when we use kuru, we mean where I physically am. So koko ni is for kuru. So その本をここに持ってきてください. Please bring that book over here. Or 友達を連れてきてください. Please bring your friend here. bring your friend to my place. If it's motion anywhere else, so if we are going to somewhere where I am not currently in, then I use iku, ikimasu. So for example, Tanaka-san no uchi ni itte kudasai. Go to Tanaka's house. Or Tanaka-san no uchi ni kono kaban o motte itte kudasai is the exact same sentence, but notice instead of saying just go there yourself, now I'm saying kono kaban o motte, so grabbing onto that bag, to this bag, go there. So in other words, please bring this bag to Tanaka's house. So notice in English we say kind of bring in both of these contexts, right? Like bring this book over here and bring the bag to somewhere else. You could say take this bag to Tanaka-san's house. You probably wouldn't. But the key difference between motte kuru, motte kimasu, and motte iku, motte ikimasu is motte kuru means to where I am now. Motte ikimasu means to somewhere else. So you can think of it as well. We have here ototo o kouen ni tsurete itte kudasai. So please bring your little brother to the park. Please take your brother to the park. That's where he wants to go. So get him out of the house. Please go somewhere else. Tsurete itte kudasai. You can think of it this way too. Like this is again, I'm going to go back to Naruto for this. So if you're Naruto running, if he's coming towards you, this is kuru. But if he's going in any other direction besides towards you, then it is iku. All right. So hopefully we can remember that. Let's take another example for this one. Takeshi is having a party. Takeshi says, "Please bring beer to my party." What does he say? You can pause the video here, but try and say the sentence before I give you the answer, which is now. ビールを持ってきてください. Please bring beer. 持ってきてください. And then somebody named Makoto says, "Sure, I'll bring beer to your party." What is he going to say? はい、ビールを持って行きます. 持って行きます. I'm going to bring it to your party. Right? So that's if I'm going to you, then it's 持って行く. And if I'm coming to me, 持ってくる. All right. So that's our compound verbs with come and go. Right now, we only know two of them in lesson 6, 持ってくる and 連れてくる, or 持って行く and 連れて行く. But we will learn a lot more of these as we go. It's a very common thing in Japanese in general. The other thing for here, for lesson 6 that we study, is this kara and made. Kara means kind of the starting point, so where from, and then made is until, or up until what point, so it marks the end of something, made. And these two are used together to mark from a time, so say from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, or a place from here to there, or even just abstract, from A to Z, in general, more metaphorically. And all of these are kara made. So let's take a look at a couple examples. クラスは12時から12時50分まであります. We have class from 12 to 12:50. Right, so we attach kara onto the end of this. And notice that it isn't 12時に or 12時 something else kara. Kara is the particle. So 12時から12時50分まであります. This one, also time, but now we're talking about dates. So 私は日本にいます. I will be in Japan. From August 10th to the 18th. 8月10日から18日まで日本にいます. This is another physical location. カタカナ頑張ってください. Pause the video here and try and figure out, like, where are these cities? This first one is Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles, and this is Anaheim. So obviously Anaheim in California. So Los Angeles から Anaheim まで45分ぐらいです. It's about 45 minutes from Los Angeles to Anaheim. どこそこに行きました. And then そこから from there. So I can use a pronoun like this one. そこからカフェまで行きました. From there, I went to the cafe. So I don't need it to be a physical place. I can just replace it with a word like soko, or sono mise, or sono cafe, or whatever. And then finally, the sensei for the class says, 今日はカタカナのあからこまで勉強します. Today we will study katakana from a to ko. So a, i, u, e, o, kaki, kuke, ko is what we will study. All right, so those are a couple examples of kara and made. We can also combine them with question words, 質問. So I can ask, このバスはどこからどこまで行きますか? This bus goes from where to where. And I can obviously only use one of these if I wanted. So このバスはどこまで行きますか? Where does this bus go to? Or in other words, where is the last stop on this bus? Like how far does this bus go? Right? What is the end point? So I can just ask どこまで as well. I can do the same thing for time. 田口さんは昨日何時から何時まで寝ましたか? From what time until what time 寝ましたか? Did they sleep? Right? And again, I can say 何時から寝ましたか? When did they go to sleep? Or 何時まで寝ましたか? When did they wake up, basically? Until when were they sleeping? And both are fine independently or together. With this, 春休み, spring break. 春休みはいつからいつまでですか? From when to when? 今日の勉強は何ページから何ページまでですか? From what page to what page? And so on and so forth. But から can be extended from that. It's not just from in the physical sense of, like, okay, from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, or from this room until this other room. I can also use it more metaphorically, from this fact. Or in Old English, we would have said hence, like from here. But what we really mean is we're using this as because. And you've seen this before, but it's just a reminder that we attach kara. What kara is attaching to is that starting point or the reason. That's where kara attaches. So if I have something like, I forgot the book in the room, and so please bring it here. If you think, please bring it here because I forgot the book in the room. If you say it in that order, in exactly that order, and you think of just kara as because, sometimes it can get tricky and we can put kara into places where it doesn't make sense in Japanese. So instead, think, okay, I forgot the book in the room is the reason. That's the situation. And I want to attach kara to that. And then say, therefore, please bring it here for me. Can you please bring the book to us? So we have lots of different ways to do that in Japanese, but these three are the main ones. And these three are the ones that you're responsible for up until level 6, or until lesson 6. So we have 本を部屋に忘れました. I forgot the book in the room. So 本を部屋に忘れましたからここに持ってきてください. Please bring it here. Or 本を部屋に忘れました丸だからここに持ってきてください. These two sentences are basically identical. I've either said in number 1, I've said the whole thing is one sentence, or in number 2, I've broken it up into 2 sentences. But they are basically the same thing in the same order. And then here, 本をここに持ってきてください. I've taken, please bring the book here. And then the reason for that is 部屋に忘れましたから. I forgot it in the room. So I can take this whole thing as long as kara is attaching to the right verb. In this case, the fact that I forgot it. That's the reason why I need you to bring it here for me. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about compounding verbs like 持ってくる, and then how to attach reasons. たくさん使ってください.